The idea is fairly simple: entertainment for millions, millions of dollars for the starving in Africa.
This is what they mean by once in a lifetime.
In the summer of 1985, rock star activists reached out to a new generation of donors and tapped into an unprecedented global audience the best way they knew how.
Here's a truly legendary rock and roll band. Please welcome the Who!
Live Aid ushered in a new age of philanthropy that changed the face of disaster fundraising and sparked the conscience of the children of the 80s.
A lot of people are coming here for the music, but also for a cause.
30 years later, fundraising has changed dramatically. Today, activists are hitting a new key, using social media to bring philanthropy home to younger donors. What does this new intersection of technology and activism mean for the future of philanthropy?
If I retweet your video, is that going to make the world a better place?
It's 12 noon in London, 7 a.m. in Philadelphia, and around the world it's time for Live Aid.
And now, would you welcome Status Quo? Please welcome the incomparable Joan Baez. Thank you very much.
This is your Woodstock, and it's long overdue.
Live Aid was the seminal music event for a new generation. The concert took place on July 13, 1985, on a stage at London's Wembley Stadium and simultaneously at John F. Kennedy Stadium in Philadelphia. It was billed as a global jukebox.
It's a musical feast to fight famine.
Live Aid was the brainchild of Bob Geldof, the lead singer of Ireland's Boomtown Rats, who had been shocked 9 months earlier by this BBC broadcast about a famine in Ethiopia affecting millions of people.
Some of the very worst are packed into big sheds. It lights up a biblical famine. This place is the closest thing to hell on earth.
Geldof's first response was to record a Christmas single to raise funds to help the victims. Business journalist Felix Salmon was a 12-year-old boy in England at the time.
It didn't occur to me that buying the single would in and of itself make the world a better place. But I remember thinking to myself, yes, we should care about this. And I think more people did care about it.
The song became a smash hit, made news around the world.
Shops are selling out as fast as they're supplied.
And led Geldof to do more. To attract a young audience of donors, he reached out to the biggest rock stars of the day: Phil Collins, Mick Jagger, Tina Turner, and a rising pop star who went by one name only: Madonna. Geldof used his power of persuasion, according to British journalist David Hepworth, who covered the event for the BBC, to see if they would headline the concert.
They all turned up. Do they do it for the exposure, or do they do it because the heart's in the right place and all that? You know, the truth is they do it for all these reasons. And Bob Geldof was a genius in exploiting this. He made the people who hadn't signed up to do it feel that they were being left out.
Geldof's passion for the project made a powerful pitch.
Give me $1, and I swear to you that $1 will translate into direct food into somebody's mouth.
To reach an American audience, he capitalized on the growing success of MTV, just 4 years old in 1985, and satellite technology.
The worldwide television feed will bounce off 16 satellites, ultimately reaching 150 countries.
Live Aid. The show featured pre-taped appeals for money.
I'm Coretta Scott King. Martin Luther King Jr. was deeply concerned about world hunger.
What changed with Live Aid was that charity was linked with not with self-denial, but with getting your wishes at the same time. You know, so it was supposedly a win-win.
We're going to give you the details of exactly how you can contribute.
Massive numbers of people could call 800 numbers and pledge money via credit card.
Good morning, Live Aid. This is Live Aid.
At first, the switchboard wasn't lighting up the way Geldof had hoped.
There are people dying now, so give me the money.
He felt contributions weren't coming in fast enough. I was presenting at the time, and I said, well, all right, we'll go to the address first. And he said,
No, let's the address. Let's get the numbers. Because that's how we're going to...
Whole TV world froze.
In the end, an estimated $80 million were raised. Geldof had placed a disaster at the heart of popular culture.
It has pioneered a new method for involving young people in trying to solve the problem of hunger in northern Africa.
People rallied for a common cause, joined by a communal reverence for rock stars and linked together through cutting-edge technology of the day. 30 years later, social media has replaced music as the lingua franca of a younger generation.
Right now, there are more people on Facebook than there were on the planet 200 years ago.
In 2012, filmmaker Jason Russell produced a video about children forced into a rebel army in Uganda, showing a more recent hell on earth, and urged viewers to take action.
This movie expires on December 31st, 2012, and its only purpose is to stop the rebel group, the LRA, and their leader, Joseph Kony.
The video went viral to viewers around the world, who this time weren't using phones to call operators, but to watch videos and donate directly.
Talk about the World Wide Web. One short film has now been seen by 75 million people and counting.
That spiked to 100 million views in 6 days and raised a total of $17 million. The phenomenon fed the rise of a new term to describe online philanthropy.
Clicktivism.
Clicktivism. It is much easier than anyone had ever dreamed to get people to click on things and say, click on this and then we'll catch Kony. One of the questions is, do people having clicked then feel like they've done their bit and they need to do no more? Or does that act just make them more invested in the cause than they would have been if they just continued doing nothing? And maybe they are.
Supporters could buy a so-called action kit with t-shirts and stickers. Salmon says there's a performance aspect that online charity provides that helps drive participation.
We see these things happen and we feel powerless. So what we want to do is make a visible action.
That came into play big time 2 years later with the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Let's do it, guys.
Unlike the months of planning it took to pull off the one-time Live Aid concert, with just the press of a button, social media makes the whole world a stage, 24/7, 365 days a year, and invites everyone to join in the spectacle. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised more than $100 million for a little-known charity dedicated to ending a rare disease, ALS.
That was really cold.
It rivaled Live Aid in money raised and impact at a fraction of the cost. But trying to figure out what will take off on social media is anyone's guess. Nothing has come close to replicating the success of the Ice Bucket Challenge.
I'm about to launch the Band-Aid Challenge.
Even Bob Geldof's 2014 plea for money to fight Ebola failed to go viral.
So guys, here it is.
Every board member in America probably said to the nonprofit executives that they serve with, why aren't we doing our own ice bucket?
Stacy Palmer is the editor of the Chronicle of Philanthropy, and she says online giving is falling short of expectations.
Nonprofits are really struggling with how to figure out what's next in the digital world and really look at their whole cultural orientation to be online and to be digital first, and it doesn't come naturally.
But even when a video does go viral, the outcome isn't always successful. 2012 has come and gone, and Joseph Kony is still at large. The organization, Invisible Children, was criticized for taking an overly simplistic approach, and its leader, Jason Russell, had a breakdown.
Invisible Children seemed to blame Russell's breakdown on the intense exposure he generated.
With the Ice Bucket Challenge, the ALS Association randomly found itself on the receiving end of more money than it could have imagined.
No one had a clue whether they had any ability to deal with a big windfall. One charity sort of won the lottery, and it's a bit like, you know, an individual winning the lottery. There's no sense in which this was a remotely efficient allocation of philanthropic capital.
Salmon says that even dating back to Live Aid, Finding solutions to complicated problems requires not just money, but coordination among government agencies, for-profit companies, and non-profit organizations.
We do know how to make the world a better place, and we can make the world a better place. Giving is a good thing and an ethical imperative in and of itself.
Just